So, we've finally gotten some new information on Pokken Tournament. Needless to say, it's looking quite different than what many of us expected it to be. You've got Pikachu, Suicune, and Gardevoir, all revealed as playable characters. And, for the most part, they all look pretty cool. Combined with the newly revealed combat system, I think it's safe to say that the game will be much less Tekken-styled, and much more of its own unique entity, meaning that we'll probably be getting a lot more unconventional Pokemon as fighters. To be honest, these announcements kind of caught me off guard, as I had already completed all of the supporting pictures for this video before we got the new information. As a result, I decided to change view of the entries to better reflect the gameplay direction that the game is taking. But because I wanted to keep this video down to 15 Pokemon, I couldn't include every Pokemon that I suddenly deemed had a chance, so I decided to include a list of honorable mentions at the end. Keeping that in mind, let's get this thing started. The first Pokemon in today's video is Regigigas. Now, Regigigas is an absolute behemoth, so they'd probably have to scale it down to make it a feasible fighter. But I still believe that it would be pretty cool to play as. Perhaps they could even make use of its slow start ability, making it a pretty bad Pokemon at the beginning of a match, but more and more powerful as the battle progresses, until it slowly becomes a giant threat. Next up, we have Scizor. In my opinion, Scizor is one of the coolest bug types out there, and it seems perfectly adept for a fight. Just look at those claws. Or are they pincers? I don't know. Either way, they'd be perfect for attacking foes in Pokken Tournament. I know. The obvious choice is obvious. But there's a reason Greninja is so well loved, and that's because of its awesome design. In Pokken Tournament, I'd imagine Greninja would have a mainly ninja-based moveset, focused around dodging and ninjutsu counterattacks. The announcement of Suicune and Pikachu opened the door to many new possibilities, including flying-type Pokemon. And, out of all the flying types, I think Braviary would make for one of the best contenders. And the fact that it's based off an eagle makes it all the easier for it to be a close combat fighter. In my recent playthrough of Alpha Sapphire, my Hariyama, which was named Mr. Puffs by the way, was one of my main team members, so its inclusion on this list is somewhat biased. However, I do still think that Hariyama would make for a cool fighter, what with it being a sumo wrestler and all. Also, the battle areas in Pokken Tournament are circular, which make a sumo character even more fitting in context. Crocodile is just another one of those Pokemon that seems like it was born to fight. I'd imagine it'd be a mid-range fighter with powerful, albeit easily punishable, jaw snaps, and super sharp claw slashes. Well, what do you know? 2 Gators in a row. Now, Feraligatr is probably more apt to fighting than its Gen 5 counterpart, as it's bigger, bulkier, and would overall have a looming presence on the battlefield. It could even conjure water to use in its attacks. Toxicroak's design and typing make it a truly unique Pokemon, and I'd love to see it use its athletic skills and poison fingers in battle. And if you're wondering what that weird purple and yellow Toxicroak was doing there, it's just something I stumbled upon by accident whilst messing around with Toxicroak's color scheme, and I thought it looked cool, so I kept it. Watch out folks, cause we've got a badass over here! Elektra Bar looks supercharged for battle, and its electric wire thingies that are found on his back look like they would leave foes truly lightning struck. While basing a Pokemon off a style of martial arts might seem strange at first, it actually works really well, as in the case of Mienshao, our next entry. Mienshao would fight like a Shaolin monk, which means lots of dodging, backflips, and super quick kung fu chops. It's easy to envision a Mienshao gracefully dominating the battlefield, even using its signature move, the high jump kick. After the horror that was Quilladin, it's comforting to see that Game Freak finished off Chespin's evolution line the right way. And what do you know, we also got a perfect Pokken Tournament prospect too. Chestnut would be a powerful defensive fighter, and its spiked back could even do damage to opponents who got too close. Our next Pokemon is Bisharp. I had to make a decision between Bisharp and Gallade for this spot, because they are both so similar in terms of body structure that having both would be redundant. I ultimately went with Bisharp, as it just looked more combat ready in its normal form, and because we already have Gardevoir. Bisharp would fight mainly with its razor-sharp arm blades, and maybe even lunging its head forward to slice its foes with its serrated helmet axe. Second to last on this list is Archeops. As with Breviary, I included it on this list to have more flying-type Pokemon, and its dual rock and flying typing makes it a good contender for a fighting game. Sorry Aerodactyl, but there's only room for one flying fossil on my list. Before we move on to the number 1, I have a few honorable mentions. And when I say a few, I mean a bunch. I kinda went a little overboard with this. These Pokemon are on here because either A, I forgot about them when I was planning these videos out, B, I didn't have enough room nor time to include them, or C, they suddenly became viable once Suicune and Pikachu were announced. Alright, let's get this started. Absol, Aegislash, Ampharos, Arceus, Beedrill, Beheeyem, Buffalant, Cobalion, Regigigas, Emboar, Empoleon, Escavalier, Excadrill, Exploud, Flagon, Gallade, Galvantula, Golem, Hypno, Jirachi, Kabutops, Ludicolo, Magnezone, Metagross, Mew, Nidoking, Ninjask, Lord Omastar, Poliwrath, Sableye, Samurott, Sandslash, Solipede, Serperior, Siftree, Sudowoodo, Trevenant, Tyrantrum, Venusaur, Xerneas, and finally, Zebstrika. Also, maybe we could even get some Hoopa and Volcanion up in there. With that out of the way, let's move on to the final Pokemon that I would like to see as a fighter in Pokken Tournament. Yup, it's Mewtwo. Aside from being a completely badass fighter, Mewtwo could potentially even be the final boss of the arcade mode. Its psychic powers would absolutely devastate its opponents, causing chaos and destruction all over the battlefield. Even when you manage to get up close, Mewtwo could cripple you with its spine-shattering power. If there's any Pokemon that's going to be overpowered in Pokken Tournament, it's gotta be Mewtwo. So, that's it for the Pokken Tournament Idea series. I really enjoyed making these, and if you enjoyed them too, please leave a like. Making videos, even the simple ones, takes a lot of time and effort, but it always pays off when I see the positive feedback from you guys. Until next time, peace out.